Well, hello guys. How are you doing? So, as I stated, I was going to go live tonight at 9 o'clock right quick. Let's see. So just bear with me. I'm going to share this here. So just bear with me for a split second. I don't know why this thing. Let's see. Where are we? Why the person that I want to share it with ain't where I want it to be? How y'all doing tonight? So we're going to be talking about normalcy, normal, how we have, I like to say, been subjected to think normal is normal. I don't know if you guys have watched the show. What brought this up was the show with Carrie Washington. You can watch it on Hulu. It's a streaming series on Hulu. But it's called Unprision. I think it's just Unprison on, not Unprisoner. I think it's Unprison. But this recent episode talked about being normal and how normal seemed not normal. So I wanted to talk about that. I did a post. Let me go get that print. I posted about that, right? And I had one person comment on it because, well, it wasn't normal per se, but I asked about the respect aspect of saying no ma'am, yes ma'am, oh no, you're not late, but no ma'am, yes ma'am, and sir, and all this. Where did we get that from? And this TikToker made an example of what I consider normal. It's part of my upbringing. It's a part of my terminology. Yes sir, ma'am, and God bless. Raised that way. I often say Miss, Mr., Mrs. as well. That is how I was raised. I also raised children. They grown now, and around me is ma'am, or sir, or other. Bottom line, respect elders and others, and does not apply to disrespectfulness. My thing about that is, and if anyone's watching that can answer this question for me, is, like she just said, her upbringing. So basically, her parents taught her that. Then, or whomever was her supervisual parents or whatnot, guardians or something like that. But the same thing happened to them. The guardians had parents. The guardians' parents had parents. So at what point do we say the root of us understanding what respect means? I want to challenge us, definitely as black folks, to go to the root. And the root would be slavery. Understanding that our normal, that we consider to be normal, is just a traumatic habit that's been passed down from our ancestors. So I have some bullet points, that questions, I may say, that I want to try and to divulge in and go over and just talk about a little bit. And the first one is, how does society define the term normal? I think we all know society norm is pretty much like a trend, like what everybody's doing. So if you're not doing what the masses are doing, you're not normal. You get this at jobs. You say its origin is rooted in slavery. What did our ancestors refer to themselves to show respect? That's the thing. That's my challenge to us as black folks to try to figure out, what did we say? Can you honestly say that before the kidnap of Africans and the enslavement of indigenous people over here in the Americas, were they saying yes ma'am, yes sir? And they may have said something similar to that to whomever their hierarchy was or their chiefs, but they said something totally different. Again, a lot of stuff that we do on a daily basis, Jesus love you and God bless. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother episode. But again, it is so hard for us to separate things that have been passed down. Going right back to what the TikToker the TikToker stated, with it was part of my upbringing. Everyone has an upbringing, and I can sit up here and say my upbringing was a part of, yes, respect. That's yes ma'am, no sir, yes sir, no ma'am. That was part of respect. Respect your elders. You can't call your elders by their first name. That's not normal as a child. That's so disrespectful. As my wife would say, calling someone out of their name is more disrespectful than actually calling them their name, because it's their given name. Now, I get it. Mom, mom, dad, if that is their title. And European medieval times, sir was a title of a knight. Is rooted in Eurocentric terminology. So, with you saying that, even in this day and time, we ain't calling nobody sir because we think they're a knight. If you go over there, and I can understand when you say European medieval time, because still they are in so many ways, what's the other terms that they, when they're knighted and lord, and a lot of that stuff does fit their terminology over there, but over here, it's kind of like a, enslaved mentality, because that's what our ancestors had to call them folks that it seems that you can't say their actual name, or you get banned and whatnot. But, define the term normal. Let's see. See what the dictionary says normal is. Normal. Conforming to a standard, usually typical or expected. The usual, average, or typical state or condition. A line at a right angle to, that's something totally different. That's technical. But the usual, average. So a trend can be considered normal almost, because that's what everybody's doing. Said true, but it's where it comes from. Definitely enslaved mentality, yes. But we're running from that. We're running from the livelihood that we call so normal, that we feel is considered black culture, is a it's not, I'm not even gonna say remnants. It is a product of the slavery time. And until we go back, we're still wounded. Even us, myself, don't know nothing about slavery in the sense of, have I witnessed it? Have I gone through it? Did I pick cotton? No. But that trauma has been passed down through lineage from folks and ancestors, from their kinfolk on down. And unfortunately, it is something that we're being held back from going in and dissecting, because we can't talk about our past. We can't talk about our ancestors passing what they went through, because it's so ugly and nobody wants to hear it, or because all the slavery movies that really don't depict what went down to a degree, it's been saturated. We're getting tired of it. You even hear people saying, "Oh, I'm so tired of slave movies." Go watch a documentary. Go actually see where someone is talking to a person that's gone through it. That in itself is a little bit more informational than just watching an actual slavery movie that's been produced to be sent out to the masses in the movies and whatnot. Why do we believe we're free? Because our oppressors say so. They lie to us about everything. And that is one of my points of what we consider normal. We think we walk around here because I can get in my car, I can go to work with no problem. Some of us anyway, which we're realizing that some of us can't, because we end up being pulled over. Core belief, purpose to train us not to think independently. And that's what it is. So let's see. In what ways have people been marginalized or discriminated against for not fitting into the societal definition of normal? Again, YT has created a normal that we have started calling a normal ourselves. And going to this question, we're constantly discriminated on because we're not following their normal. We're starting to, prime example, the uproar about the, maybe what's the community name? I don't want to say the community wrong.
Or which one? Cancel culture?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you talking about? Oh, I was going to say
See?
Something offensive or disrespectful.
I don't want to say it wrong. You know what? I got the thing right.
LGBTQ plus.
Yes.
Is that what you were trying to say?
Yes. I don't want to call the LGBTQ plus community is not following the norm, and people are like mind blown. You have people getting sex change, mind blown. That's not normal. You're wanting to be have a sex change. You're not following the norm. What is wrong with y'all? That's what people are saying. That's what society are saying. But they are not understanding that the norm that we're following is not a norm in itself. So, let's see. Who gives them authority to define what's normal? Where did they get the application to be God?
Well, that would go all the way back to the creation of the government anyway.
Yes, like she stated, that it goes right back to their creation of this government, and even way before then. Again, like the biblical aspect of that situation is a whole nother discussion in itself, because I can sit up here and say we have literally grabbed hold to a Bible and made it normal. And if you don't go by the Bible that is in every store, regardless of how it's rewritten, then you're not normal. Something's wrong with you. You're the devil. You're going to hell. But what
or if you don't believe in Christianity, period, then there's something wrong with you, or it's an issue. People are like, okay.
Yeah, you're not Christian. You're not a Christian. How can you believe in God and you're not a Christian? Like she said, easily. Think about it again. Everything stems right back to slavery, regardless if we don't want to associate it with that. It does, because before slavery, what God did our ancestors talk to? It wasn't Jesus. So why are we so hung up on Jesus? Why are we so hung up on that norm? And going back to the discrimination thing of it, again, yet they're afraid to study any other history book to show they're approved.
Correct. But I mean, the Chinese have been practicing something other than the belief in Jesus Christ for a very long time, and they have been very successful in life and had no issues. So has the Muslim community. Believing in other things has never really hurt anybody. I mean, it's unheard of. I don't know.
How does the concept of normal create a hierarchy within society with those who fit into the definition of being privileged over those who do not?
It's funny that I told you that my coworker, I ain't gonna say who asked today
about the privilege situation,
privileges and rights, and to me, I was just trying to get to the root of what he was saying, but privileges and rights, still go back to, I should have the privilege to pick and choose as I freely want to, but I don't necessarily have that right. You tell me I have freedom of speech in the First Amendment, then you also tell me I have the right to remain silent, as anything I say or do can incriminate me in the court of law. But even if I were freely speaking and say, well, hey, I haven't done anything wrong, you can't arrest me for that. You can actually hold it against me later on if you feel like I've committed a crime in your, thing. So it just, all of it was just...
Everything contradicts itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So privilege contradicts rights.
And which is, I guess that was his point in trying to make a decision as to, are we able to decide what medicine we should be able to take? Are we able to decide whether we can have a TV or not? I believe that should be an amenity allowed to everybody. We shouldn't have homeless people. There are enough empty houses out here that everybody can be in one. They're building new houses every day. It's just all about monetization, capitalization. Who's in charge? Oh, I sold the most houses. Oh, I got the most this. How I got the most that? And it's like absolutely crazy. Oh, Jesus provided this for me. Oh, this belief is what I've been following, and this is what works for me. But just because somebody else practices hoodoo or reads the Quran doesn't mean that their beliefs or rights are any different than ours.
How about there was no letter J nor its sound on the planet in any language?
The Egyptian alphabet was mostly consonants. There were not really even any vowels. And like they're saying, the J didn't come along till like AD, after death. Like the man was here and his name was not what his name was. So what was he really called?
And I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think the Jesus story is normal either.
I feel like Jesus is a normal man. I think he is an over-exercised example of what they feel like we should follow.
Yeah.
He's not the only person who's rebelled against the government. He's not the only person who's rebelled against what he felt like was normal or right or should be.
But they still changed his story, though. They changed his story.
Power and control, tripping, make it easier to kill, steal, and destroy. Then that makes them the devil according to their word.
Right.
In the Bible.
Right.
If we really want to take it there.
So, for real, normal, that's their normal. And in order for us to live a peaceful life,
I should be able to, I don't know. I feel like in order for my definition of peaceful life would be me going out in the forest, picking my piece of land, that I decide that nobody else inhabits. Say it's like surrounded by a group of trees and it's out not bothering anybody. Getting in the stomach, correct. This is great. Yeah. So, it would be that would I don't have the right to do that because they say that the earth parts of the earth, it needs to be portioned out and have an owner, and I need to pay somebody. But what if I build my own house using my own resources, cut my own trees down in our own area, don't ask anybody for anything, I'm feeding, clothing, and taking care of myself and living off the land that God put me on without anybody's extra help, then why do I have to pay taxes to somebody when I can use the earth for the resources that it naturally supplies for us?
Because, again,
why do I have to believe in Jesus just for me to have a nice house? Why do I have to believe in anything to even just be alive?
And I know it's a soft spot. Again, this normal, that
would be normal.
The normal it's such a touchy.
It shouldn't be normal to have homeless people.
It's such a touchy situation because, again, we have held so tight to, and I emphasize on upbringing. The upbringing is our problem. The upbringing. We have not challenged any upbringing. And when the challenge is challenged, we get pissed off at our kids. And we try to figure out, why are our kids rebellious? Why are you rebellion? Why are you not being respectful? Respectful to whom? In what way? In the sense of matter of fact, the series that I'm talking about, and I was just telling my wife, is the little girl in this series. I think every episode she drops 2 cussing words with no problem.
Oh yeah.
With no problem. So I'm
is it disrespectful to? I feel like it's disrespectful to that child's character, just that child as a child, to allow them to say words that you deem curse words. Because to me, my definition, you already know my definition. I'm a sailor. When it comes to words, I use my words properly and as I should. And as a lot of people say, oh, you cuss a lot. Yeah, I do, and I'm not ashamed of it because I can curse you without cursing you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because curse words don't actually mean what curse words mean.
No.
I can curse you by saying, you know what? Just like Seeley said at the end of The Color Purple, till you do right by me, everything you touch gonna fail. That was more of a curse.
A cuss word than me saying word. Damn, shit, and all that.
Yeah, we could say words like that on a regular basis and it mean absolutely nothing to nobody. But actually put a curse on somebody by, you can't leave me because you stuck to me at the hip, and you go and sew us together. We stuck.
But is that you have to reflect that those who raised us did the best they, and I've said that to my mom that, hey, yeah, you may have dropped the ball, but now that, because I'm doing my research, I'm doing the work, I'm doing the healing, I understand where you came from. Right. Why you are the way that you are, but do you? And so that's my question to my parents. Mm-hmm. Like, I get it.
I can relate to that because I don't think my family is very accepting of the fact that I don't do holidays, and it's not because,
your parents are not accepted to the fact that they are wrong, that they're traumatized.
Again, to me, I'm not saying that the Bible is completely wrong. I ain't saying it's completely right. But to me, it's just another book, like a self-help guide. Again, so I'll take the analogy, basic instructions before leaving Earth. Okay, cool. It's something I can use as a guide, but I don't think it's an all-tell-all go-to. I was raised on the Bible. I know it front and back, scriptures and all that kind of stuff. But as I've gotten older and I've realized, oh, wow, there's more to the world than just what's in this book. There are more books out here, and I love reading.
Yes.
I like to explore different things. It's okay for me to decide, you know what? I'm going to put baptism to the side for a little bit, and I want to be a Buddhist. And I should be okay to do that without having myself being disrespected and saying, that ain't how I raised you. I shouldn't have to, you need to be in church.
Mm-hmm.
And don't continue sending me Bible scriptures if you know that my belief is something different. And take the time to ask me about my belief instead of saying, oh, well, that ain't how we, that's not how we're not going to do that here
So
in this house.
all right, so this is the thing with
That's more disrespectful than saying, than not saying no ma'am or no sir.
But this is the thing with that. You're the generation curse breakers. Believe me, we're learning and dealing with our healing too. Some of you are, and I know you stated in the message that you're a little older. Some of you are, but like my dad,
Some people
my dad refused to open up the idea of I need to go visit in my head.
I feel like nothing's
back.
wrong with them. Because they've done what the internet says here. They created what
they don't know. Life. But they don't know about the internet.
Even without the internet, they've done what the internet says. They've established daily routines that they cannot get out of the habit of. They do not set themselves up to learn new things because they go with what's familiar. Again,
and they've sunk into the idea that old dogs cannot learn new tricks, which that is a lie. I used to hate hearing that, and when I got old enough to even understand that was a lie, it made me even more infuriating. It made it more infuriating to hear someone say, "Oh, you can't let them be them."
That's why I've also made the change to say, practice makes perfect. No, practice makes progress. Yeah. We always have room to grow and explore and expand.
How do stereotypes and assumption about what is normal perpetrate systematic oppression and discrimination?
I'll go back to religious belief. When you tell somebody, oh, well, I thought you were so and so, da-da-da-da-da, and then you say, oh, well, no, I follow non-denominational, whatever. Oh, okay, so you've been converted over? Now you've changed your disposition with me, and now you're like, I don't know if I should still have the same concepts or feelings about you as well.
But the word that you just used is a great word.
What word?
Converted. Because black people do not understand that you have been converted yourself. Because again,
we've been
Christianity was not the religion over here in Americas. It was not. And for the people that sit and constantly say the Bible and Jesus and all this is life and this is what you're supposed to do, it wasn't. So going right back to what my wife was saying, what do you say about the Africans over in the woods right now that are not saying Jesus, my Savior, the Son, can you please bring rain? That's not what they're asking. So are they going to hell? Come Sunday is a great movie on Netflix because I cannot think of that darn preacher name that he stated in his church, his mega church, that God came to him and helped him understand that how he was teaching was wrong. And one of his things that he was talking about is, how are we saying that these people over in Africa that are not praising to Jesus or throwing their hands up and saying the Son of God is our Savior is doing okay or is blessed?
And I'm going to say to you, the comparison of Africans practicing Christianity back in the day, back before they were even introduced to it before, versus now, 95% of Africa has been converted to Christianity. They naturally believe.
But it's because, again, the European mindset
infringed upon them.
It was very infringed upon, and it was forced on. Mm-hmm. The European mindset, again, they're normal, felt as though that in order for this world to be okay, they have to do exactly what we do. And so let me send these people over here to this country and figure out what they're doing. Not only am I going to convert them to how I think, and how I think is I am the leader, I am the boss, I am the king, she is the queen, and we are above each and everything, but I also want your resources. This is exactly what happened. This is what the norm is. And still to this day, we are constantly giving our all to people. I'm not saying all people are the same, because we know we've been so corrupted that we could be some little nasty folks too. But we have given our all to a set group of people that can care less about our well-being. We're entertainment. We have always been entertainment. We've always been a source of labor. So it's not normal that so many black people are going out and becoming entrepreneurs. It's not normal. You know what? I'm working at a store, and all I'm hearing these people saying is nobody wants to work. And they're not talking about themselves. They're talking about us. No one wants to work because they're good. They're set. These people sitting up here with accounts with...
And I'm going to be real with you. Some of these people that are saying what they're saying have worked 40, 50 years of their life for the same company and really don't have a pot to fish or one to throw it out of. They just got a really high, as you're getting ready to say, credits with a particular company in order to be able to come in there and spend a little bit. And no, they doggone well ain't going to be able to spend or pay all that out. But
some of them don't. Some of them got their stuff passed down to them.
Of course.
But how does a stereotype and assumption about what is normal perpetrate systematic oppression and discrimination? The assumption of our integration into the livelihood of YT society caused us to go back 10 steps.
And surprisingly, whether they know it or not, they also suffer from trauma and issues with respect and disrespect too, because, you know.
Oh, them same Europeans that came from over here, they was very disrespected. That's the reason why they left. They left due to the fact that their religion disrespected them in a sense.
Or that they were oppressed by the religion or didn't like what was being placed upon them or what they were being subjected to.
And what you said, just for them to come back and institutionalize the same religion that they say that they were tired of. What role do media and advertising play in reinforcing societal norms and expectation? And how does this contribute to the normalization of oppressive attitudes and behavior?
In my opinion, first of all, I don't believe in Jesus. So believe me when I say this, those that do impose disrespect on others, it's the devil. Oh my God, it's the devil. Because it's dead wrong. Mm-hmm. It steals. I respect it.
It's just funny. Right. So like I was telling you earlier, how now, you know, you see the tampon commercials, medias, and how you see dildos everywhere, but you can't talk about sex on these apps.
Right.
You can't show sex on these apps. But
social media is bass backwards for real. You can't post certain words because of meanings for that are considered disrespectful, unless they're held in a certain context. Oh, they can say it, but you can't say it, type thing.
But guess who created it though?
Oh, them and the algorithm they put in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because a comedian can't even be a comedian anymore.
And in so many ways, it's a double stab in the back for them because they're the ones who decided that we couldn't read or we couldn't read certain things. So how am I supposed to learn the words if you don't put them in place for me to learn them?
Well, but that's the thing, though. That was the control. That was the normalization of, okay, now we have to change a little bit. We're going to allow them to read in order for them to do the work that we need for them to do. But we're going to limit what they have access to. And it's still that same way.
Well, that would go the same as for the women of that culture. They were limited on that, too. And in a sense, that was disrespectful. You mean to tell me that a 13-year-old kid or a little boy had more pull? A kid.
I came across some information at the very beginning. They had access, and they were they had more jobs in higher departments, but I do believe that they start making thus men look real bad, which started to turn.
It's easy for anybody to make that type of person look bad.
So, they had to sit up here and change it. Oh, no, you need to be at home because you're making me look bad in front of Jim. Yeah. What steps can be taken to challenge and dismantle the idea of normal in society and create a more exclusive and equitable world for all? I think it's happening already. I'm not against and I'm not for a lot of the stuff that's going on with the body changes and all this. To each his own. I'm not knocking any of that for that person, but I do feel this is challenging the norm because, again, what is normal is a girl is a girl and a boy is a boy. That's what they're going to basically tell you. And that if you're thinking that you're something different in your head, then you're not normal. And I think not only to that, again, the pandemic was an eye-opener for a lot of black people to understand that it is not normal for me to be busting my ass at this job that can care less about me. Now, I got my own business. I'm having fun with my kids, my spouse, or my family, and I'm still making the same amount of money, if not more. I'm even traveling. This is the most I've seen a whole bunch of black folks travel. Outside of when income tax time came. Like, again, like this recession is not normal because they're trying to put us back into into a place, in a box.
We're always in a recession.
Yeah, we've forever been in a recession. It's because, so when you change, when you have the authority to change minimum wage, but then at the same time change the cost of living on top of that, what is considered normal is to stay distracted so you don't realize what's really going on.
Which answers the question of why I don't mess with social media or media. I rarely get on there. But again, they make it kind of necessary to have it for business purposes, and that's probably really the only purpose I really use it. Personal business has really no place to be in on there at this point because they take it and misuse it for their own because they feel like, oh, you're my property. I have control of you. I can take your pictures and do whatever the hell I want to do with them, and there's nothing you can say or do about it at the end of the day. This information can and will be used against you, and it's your own face or your own information, your own name, And in a sense, that's disrespectful in itself.
I'm sorry, guys. I like ice. But again,
there should be no such thing as normal.
Normal's not a real word.
Your normal should be what's best for you and yours, and we say it all the time. Everything may not work for everybody, but you got to do what works for you.
Again, conforming. Conforming is like a forced word for me to a standard. Like I'm being forced to a standard.
So you will continue to work for their paper. They will continue to make you work to get a piece of paper for validation purposes. When at the end of the day, we really don't even need it.
We do not need their validation. But you know what we do for normalcy? We go out and we think that we need to please them. We dress the way that we dress. We act the way that we act in order for them to see us a certain way. Thank you for the rose. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Kevin.
And look at our attire. Your boy David Banner said it the realest. We're so busy going out and trying to drive the cars that they drive, wear what they wear, speak the way that they speak. But at the end of the day, a lot of them don't even, those that are seriously rich
And they don't even buy.
They don't buy the stuff that we're buying and they're promoting.
Yeah, they promote it, but they don't buy it.
I was taught when I worked at a Ford company selling cars, do not turn away from the man that comes in with holy jeans, or he's dirty and his pickup truck look like crap. Because more likely they coming in with straight cash.
He the one sitting on that old money that they want.
Like,
they specifically make and sell particular types of cars, particular types of people.
They've normalized monetary value. Right. So we don't have value in ourselves. We can't even see value in ourselves. A lot of us, we talk about...
I guarantee you 95% of people who are of good financial stature have nothing designer in their closet. They get the stuff from the Goodwill, or they had the same shirt that they wore for 20 years.
Not us.
Oh, I will.
Not us.
Definitely, I am.
Not us.
Pierce is always deceiving, yes indeed.
Oh, yes. Again, you know, walk around here with them $500 bags, but we can't put $500 in.
And that has always been my motto. If I ain't got $500 to put in the bag, what am I buying a $500 bag for?
To each his own. And I'm not stating that you shouldn't, like, reward yourself. Because, again, that's what they're doing. But they're doing it in a way, we're starting to find out that a lot of them, they don't own the stuff that they say they own because they got a business. Their business has paid everything and their business owns it. So think about all these businesses that are going bankrupt.
Oh, they get paid for that.
You know, all they got to do is file a Chapter 13 and just pay monthly bills, and they still keep their stuff. Or even them, period. File a 13 and they're keeping all of their stuff. What's not normal is the separation of black men and women. For them, it is normal. They enjoy us being on this app, going back and forth with each other and talking about how we hate each other. It's normal for them. And we are contributing to their normalcy. We're too scared to let go because guess what? I hate to bring the Bible Belt back into this situation, but they've made themselves our savior. We can sit up here and say, Jesus was black, but that doesn't change our ideal of what Jesus is. It's still the same way. It's still the same steps. It's still the same terminology that they've taught us. We're just changing the color. It's almost like black facing Jesus or white facing Jesus or however we want to say it. I can crochet a fashionable bag that will last a lifetime for $8. Why I keep spending our money on their again, David Banner said the same thing. We are the most richest in the United States and we spend the most. That's why so many of them are rich to this day, because we've bought into their BS to the point that it's so normal to us. If we don't do it, we feel weird. You cannot all right, so prime example, a person that has a house full of Jordans, if you tell him, hey, I change your life if you sell all those Jordans, you know they're gonna look at you crazy. And for you to say change their life, you can't be just talking about making it comfortable for them, because those shoes have become our identity as black people. Air Force Ones, oh man, that's, you know what white folks wearing? New Balances.
What's some new shoes that my boy said?
Yeah,
keeping to get him some QCs.
QCs on clouds, which we have a pair of those, and it's not because white people got them. They're actually comfortable walking shoes. I can't sit up here and say if the ground is wet, they're not slip proof, but yes. But outside of that, they're comfortable shoes. But again, we're putting money in their pocket. Like we don't have enough stereotypes already.
Yeah, we do.
But we buy into it and we uphold them. Again, like basketball, it is so normal for us to sit and say we got to play and be entertainment for these people. And it's so funny how they shame Kyrie the way that he is being shamed, because during the pandemic, he stated in the bubble that why are we doing this? These people are sitting up telling us shut up and dribble, not caring about our life. They just want to see their game, right? Why haven't we started our own gym? Like, you know what? Matter of fact, I just got finished talking to my wife about Oprah and Tyler Perry. We can sit up here and say, oh man, we're so proud of them and that they're doing such a great job as black people. But tell me something. If you find comb their worth, you're going to find that there's an attachment somewhere. There's an investing from the other side. Now, I could be wrong. And I was telling her, like with Tyler Perry, with his land, if he truly actually owns that land with no strings attached, I am proud of him. But still, they cannot step away from the norm. We can easily bring up Will Smith. Will Smith, for a minute, was not invited back to the Oscars because they were protesting. They had just gotten back to the Oscars. And he just got kicked right back out. They were happy to kick him back out anyway. But my thing is that they say, hey dude, can you
don't read it? I just reported it for spam. Nope. Don't waste your time.
There's the still enslaved mentality. Yes, again, but you can't tell us that. I mean, once you tell us that, we're gonna sit up and say, I'm not enslaved. I'm not a slave. Kanye West said it. And it hurt everybody's feelings when he stated that that our ancestors chose to be enslaved. Once I did and this is gonna be kind of rounding it up. When we started watching, which we didn't get finished watching, 1619? 1619, and it showed the slaves that were brought over. There was a small number because of the trip from Africa to here. But they multiplied, and they were high in numbers. But the numbers were so high, all they had to do was form a queue. Not a queue. It is a queue, man.
A group.
Just sit up here and say, we ain't finna do it. In so many ways, after so many years, that's what they did. But they could have did it at the very beginning, but they were so scared because they was in a land they did not understand. They didn't understand the language, and that YT put fear in them so hard that, oh, I'm not finna do this. I can't do this. I don't want to die. And so that's been pushed down all the way to us. So if you're not doing the norm, then something's wrong. They call us crazy. And again, that's what's going on with core beliefs without researching for oneself. Yes, it's even with what I'm saying. Don't sit up here and believe me without you going to research yourself. And I say that a lot. You know what? Let me go back up here and see who, okay, that was a different Kevin. Kevin's still going at it. The other Kevin. Talking about black women.
Oh.
No, he just popped up a thing. He must have hit something to one of those videos. Poor Kevin. We still carry that today. DNA imprint. Right. A lot of people don't understand that neither. That has been implanted, and it's like this, the being scared of water and dogs. That's been passed down. It's in us, and until we take ownership of it and say, I have been victimized and I am not free. We're not free whatsoever. We lost which I'm going to talk about that this upcoming Wednesday. This upcoming Wednesday on Facebook, that about the wealth and the separation between black men and black women, where it was a normalcy where we had our own. We had gotten to a point to where we started getting our own. When we started getting our own, we became a threat. And that's what's going on now. Again, the pandemic showed us that, hey, I do not have to work for you. I do not have to slave for you. Let me get my own. Oh, crap. You know what? Dang, why we gave them that money? See, they thought that money that they were going to give us was going to make us feed back into their society. But people start opening businesses, and that's another reason why, well, not the fake business. That was just stupid. But a lot of people really opened up, them PPP loans. A lot of people really opened up businesses, and the recession started. Products, supplies started going up. We have our own business, and I bake. And
which was going on prior to the pandemic.
Yeah, it was going on prior to the pandemic. Doing great. Supplies, like, awesome price-wise. Now they're tripled. And the only thing you could probably tell me is, it's because what their excuse is. Not enough people working. So now we got to go up on our prices. Why would that make you go up on your prices? Because a lot of folks ain't working.
Found out what we could have been doing for $1 all along. Economic roots.
Yeah.
We're natural builders.
And that was a thing. That was another thing I found out. And I'm glad you said it. Again, this is the last part. And we're going to call it a night. We got to go to bed.
No, we don't. What you do? Oh, my bad.
The minimum wage was created to stop us from wanting to work and do the jobs that YT was doing.
Wage is a trap.
And so we never stopped. We kept going. We kept trying to push and kept trying to sit up here and say, I want what they got. Why can't I have what they have? The thing is, we can.
They gave minimum wage, and then they started branching out and making businesses.
Mm-hmm. We can. We can have our own. We choose not to because they make it look better if we invest into them and we do retirement and all this. And I get what people are saying, invest in doing retirement. I'm going to be honest. If you ain't got no retirement, is owning something, not 401k, because 401k can drop down and mess up and you lose all your money. Come on. I just hit my vein. Please continue.
You just got the juice.
It's funny because, like, dang, that's funny.
She messed me up. She knocked you off the game with that when you were ready for that.
But it's just
crazy.
And I don't see why we can't see this. It is so hard. It hurts my soul to see how we complain about how we're being treated.
And needlessly struggle.
And yes, a needless struggle, and we're not doing anything about it. And I can throw myself up under the bus again. I had listened to something and I understood that, dang, I'm not doing enough. Because why are we fighting and killing over a block that ain't even ours? But we call it ours. Oh, this is my block. And you're going to disrespect me on my block. The same block that they have to sit up here and say, we building a mall in this area, so you being evicted. And they may pay you a couple of $100. Yep, but make no effort whatsoever. Nope. Like, you have all these drug dealers and their community could have been bought the block. If you being serious, could have been bought the block. A lot of them have a lot of money. They could have been bought the block. But Nope.
The power of reinvesting.
So I go back. That's what I was talking about. The money wise, the investment. We talk about, because I saw a lot of folks on Facebook earlier today talking about doing investments and during the what's that investment when trading. You should jump into trading. I thought about it. It sounded like a great idea. But again, my money is not secure with that neither, because still I'm investing and giving my money to someone else. It's just like putting my money in the bank. We had it right back in the days when we put the money up under the mattress.
Money holds no value these days.
And it's becoming digital. And the more digital it becomes, it's a bank can sit up here, can turn off all access to your bank account whenever they want to. If they sit up here and feel like, oh my God, this dude, he's going crazy. He's doing reckless stuff in society. Let's stop their money and not give access to them. But that's my money. That's my hard-earned money. I work for that. So just because I'm not following your norm, you can sit up and go to my bank account and hold it. And I'm not talking about because I'm doing drugs or selling drugs. You just
because of something I said.
Just because of something I said, something that I'm doing, you finna pull my contracts and don't get me on the cancel coaster. There ain't nothing but low life governmental peons and followers and whatnot.
We ain't even gonna get into the military conversation.
Same reason we voluntarily joined the ultimate enslavement of. Oh, that's why you said that. Yeah, I ain't even gonna jump into that because the military is the reason why some of the people are homeless. I said something to her earlier today. The only way for this world to become a better place is to stop all the wars. And YT is not going to stop wars because they're too busy trying to conquer, enslave, and rule. And in order to do that, they have to have wars. They have to sit up here and say, I want that land. I want that.
And rumors of wars.
I want that resource from over there. And the other person is like, nah, you're going to have to fight me. All right, world war then. Let's go. I'm finna bomb you. Let's go.
401k died, 911. They can make it disappear at any moment.
Yep. Surely can. So yet again, is that really normal? Or is this something they want us to buy into because this country has us on loan?
You're going to give it to me taxi. I might as well go ahead and
they have us on loan.
Let you take what you're going to take out of it and go spend it however I want to.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I do appreciate you guys. Let's see. That's the only way USA knows how to do every time they need money or resources. You're totally correct. But I know you hit your bait. And I appreciate the back and forth. I'm going to probably try and do this a little bit more often when it comes to us.
He loves conversation.
Doing
controversial conversation.
Doing our podcast and whatnot. But I can say that what we think is normal to end the night is not normal whatsoever. Wake up, guys. And I'm not talking about being part of the woke movement, because a lot of the people in the woke movement ain't woke as they think they are. That's becoming a trend. Go research. Don't just sit up here and think one book is the way to go, because there's another book that contradicts the book that you think is the book. So, again, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And y'all have a wonderful night.